Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the premiere of a great wrestling talk show. It is Overdrive Coast to Coast, and I am your co-host, Professor Barrett, and with me is my other co-host, Bill Wright. Bill, how are you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. It's a first episode, and you couldn't ask for a better first guest. That I had posted a couple weeks ago that you never know when you're online and you're chatting with people where you're going to find the next legend in the industry. You never know where you're going to find the next big thing in the business, or the next great mind, the next influencer. And I think that we have one of them here on the show today with AJ McKay. So I'm thrilled to be here on Overdriver Coast to Coast, and to interview AJ McKay, and to be here with my good friend Professor Bear, and just chat it up and see what is cooking in the future for the Swiss Army knife of professional wrestling.
You did a great job. I see you got my bio. You covered everything that I sent you money for, so that's perfect.
That's exactly right. Well, if you're paid to do a job well, you got to do it well. So
exactly.
I hope I can live up to the hype. Jeez, woof, a lot.
That's the goal.
I definitely don't think it's going to be any problems with that.
Not at all. We have a voice actor, color commentator. We have a play-by-play guy. We have a producer, audio producer, radio image coach. This guy does it all. So I don't think I'm overselling it to say that having AJ McKay on here is definitely already putting the Overdriver Coast to Coast on the map. So let's talk a little bit about that. And is there anything we missed in regards to that introduction?
Well, before you get started, AJ, I heard that you throw the best drop kick in the business. That's what I heard.
All right, that's probably going to be the only lie that gets told on this entire show today. No. If my feet leave the ground, it's to take a nap. It's not to throw a drop kick. Actually, true story. I've been involved with OVW for about 3 years now. I was there for a little over a year, and we decided we were going to put me in a storyline where I was going to come to the defense of our female ring announcer, who was, kind of getting verbally abused by one of our talent. And I'm like, oh, I'll take a cutter. That'll be okay. We practiced it 6-7 times before we opened the doors that night. And live television, I broke my shoulder. The very first move I ever took on a cutter, believe it or not. I just rotated slightly.
Yep.
And drove my shoulder right into the mat and snap. And so, yeah, the right shoulder still isn't the same. And that was almost 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so much for it being staged.
Yeah, AJ, I can totally relate with sympathy. I was in a wrestling match, and one of my closest friends said, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to bridge you. We're just going to do a backslide, except you're going to hit your feet, right? And then you'll get up and do the move. I don't do backflips, and so I landed right on my head. It turned into like a backslide driver. Worst concussion of my life. It's the little things that get you.
Yeah, I want to see the video for that one. Good night.
Consider it done. I'll absolutely bring that aboard. But
okay. I'll show you mine.
Oh, war stories already. So what have we missed? Is there anything in your past that we haven't dug up yet that you'd like people to know about you?
No, I really don't think so. I started in radio when I was 13 years old, believe it or not. My dad knew a guy that owned a radio station, and I would hang out, and, I was obsessed with, back then radio personalities were, they were locally famous. Everybody wanted to be on the radio. And of course, times have changed so much over the years. But I had my first job when I was in high school working on the radio. I'd go to school, I'd go to the station and work at night for 3 hours and, do homework while I was on the air. And, so I became kind of popular with all the kids. Middle school, I got beat up a lot. High school, very popular. It's weird how things change. I go from the skinny, nerdy kid to in high school, hey, can you give me concert tickets for this show or that show? And so things changed. And I was on the air for about a year. I realized that I hated playing. It was top 40. I hated playing the same 12 songs over and over again. And I got into the production side of things, audio production, and manipulating sound and finding ways to, be creative with audio. So that's kind of how I fell into the voice acting thing. And I've owned my own company, AJ McKay Creative, for about 27 years now, I guess. So yeah, so I stay pretty busy. We do video and audio production. So I say me mostly. I have a couple of freelance people that I use, but it's mostly me. So yeah,
absolutely.
Me in a nutshell.
Yeah, no,
Among
I
all
love
the
that.
wrestling stuff that I do and the DJing that I used to do on the side. So yeah, life is too short to not do as much as you can while you're alive. I'd rather be out doing stuff and being productive. And I enjoy watching TV every once in a blue moon when I have time, but I'd rather be active and helping people achieve their dreams and their goals. And that's kind of where I'm at now, and why I started working with OVW to let this next crop of superstars follow their dream. We talk about branding and on camera, and as a voice actor, I also teach acting and voice acting. So it all comes hand in hand. It's all encompassing. It's the entertainment industry, for lack of a better term.
That's definitely a good way of looking at it. What is the big thing that you love about OVW?
The biggest thing I like about OVW is that so many people are sleeping on us. They, everybody wants to talk about. Yeah, everybody wants to. I don't know if I can cuss on here. I'll keep it PG. Everybody wants to
cuss on here. It's fine.
Everybody wants to shit on us. Everybody wants to shit on OVW because they like to say, oh, well, they haven't had, anybody come out of there since Cena and Batista and Orton. And that's simply not true. I mean, we've had great success over the years. For Layla Gray right now is an AEW superstar, and she wrestles with AEW. Her fiance, Luke Curtis, is one of our top stars at OVW. So I think that people underestimate us, and they think, oh, well, we haven't been relevant for however long. And that could have been true once WWE pulled out. I mean, we struck up a deal with TNA. I say we, I wasn't there at the time. Excuse me.
Sure.
At the time, but they struck up a deal with TNA where they were kind of a training program for them, and we still have relationships with them. Mahabali Shira is one of Impact's talent, and he's with us on a weekly basis. So I think people sleep on OVW, or they say, oh, OVW is not a major player. True talk, and the fact of the matter is, and you can look up because it's noted in history, other than WWE Raw, OVW is the longest running weekly episodic television show in television history. We beat SmackDown by 1 week. So there you go. And people say, they're not relevant. We have Jesse Goddard, who was on Big Brother. And I mean, Jesse's doing huge things in his career right now, in addition to OVW. So EC3 is wrestling with us as well. So, I mean, I think people that haven't given us a chance, in so many years, they haven't tuned in. We're seen in more households than, believe it or not, AEW or WWE. We reach more homes around the world with our broadcast partners. WWE is part of NBC Universal, a huge juggernaut. I'm not putting us on their level, but I'm saying we reach more homes. It's just getting those folks to tune in and check us out again and find out what we've been up to. And it's the little engine that could. We work really hard every week, and all we're asking for is to be recognized. A lot of the dirt sheets, for whatever reason, they discount OVW. They don't cover us for anything. We're getting a little traction because of the new Netflix show. But yeah, we're the little engine that could. I don't think we get the credit that we deserve.
Well, I think, if I could say, and certainly I'm not the expert in the business, but I think that part of the dirt sheet issue is that a lot of the perspectives that when Vince McMahon ends up severing ties with somebody, that's it, they're done. He's drained them of everything useful. And yet we've seen with Drew McIntyre, we've seen with Cody Rhodes and countless others, that's not always the case. And it's certainly not the case with OVW. And I think more attention is going to certainly come, A, because wrestling is on the rise, and then B, you guys also have this fantastic Netflix documentary that was done on you. That's going to bring another spotlight to you. And then the other thing that I will say is I'm not sleeping in OVW. I think you know that I recognize you guys as the game changers that you are, and I certainly have every intention of supporting and pursuing OVW as I think really in the top 5 as far as promotions within the country.
And we appreciate that. Listen, for a long time, we've been on a shoestring budget, I like to say. But Al likes it that way. Al Snow, who has been the creative mind behind OVW for the longest time, he likes that old school feel. I grew up watching Memphis wrestling every Saturday morning here in Louisville. I live in Louisville, Kentucky, where Jim Cornette lives. I used to go to the matches on Tuesday night at the Garden, and Jim would be there. And it's one of those things where we don't have the glitz and the glamour of the high dollar production value, but we have the stories. The stories that we tell are so compelling. The wrestling is good. At the end of the day, we're still a training facility. We're still a school. We're the only accredited wrestling school in the country that's recognized by the state, meaning eventually folks are going to be able to get scholarships to come and train with us. We teach on camera. Yeah, we teach on camera. We teach the fundamentals. We teach branding and marketing. We do television live weekly every Thursday night for 2 hours. And live is live. There's no, we could look as packaged and as great as some of these other companies that are out there if we post-produced a show, but we're the only place that you can come and learn live television every week and get you ready for WWE or AEW or any of the other big promotions out there that are doing live broadcast. We're the only place that you could come and do that outside of the majors, outside of WWE and AEW. So
one thing that I have to disagree with you on is I love where y'all are. I believe y'all are in the greatest spot ever because no one is you're not the WWE or AEW. You're not no hate on any promotion, but you're not the low ragtag. You're in a great spot where you can develop so much. And like you said, I'm an old school guy. I remember when the territories were meaningful. Right. And I believe, I think like Al Snow, it means something to get that old
school vibe.
Yeah, because you can learn. If you learn in this way, you can manage yourself. When you step to the bigs, you know how to market yourself. You know how to, when you have to step back and go into a different direction you may not want to go, you can do it. You make yourself valuable. You are like you said, you are a business unto yourself, and you're not trying to join their business. You want their business to come recognize your business. And Absolutely. That is the mindset that makes successful wrestlers to me. And you can see it to CM Punk. CM Punk, he has the mindset, no matter what he does or what you think about him, he is a draw. Whether he is or not is irrelevant. As long as he thinks it and as long as he performs that way, you can make money. And that's why I like OVW. I followed it ever since Danny Davis started it. Nice. It's just so much when Jim Cornette popped in and out was doing, when Paul Heyman was there. So I'm a big fan of OVW. I always keep my eye on OVW because you know there's going to be a big star coming out of there. It's just when and who.
And that's, I think, the biggest thing for people is that, that's the biggest comment that I always hear is that, oh, well, they haven't produced anybody, any major star. Well, that was a different time and a different period too. I mean, things change, situations change. There have been quality talents that have come through OVW. It's not just, there are a lot of stars. Brian Pillman was with us for a while. There are a lot of folks that have come through the doors because they know the value of working with someone like Al Snow. They know that they're going to learn, and you learn on the job. I mean, it's sink or swim. We're live, pal. There are no do-overs.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
absolutely.
We're live. So, like I said, could the production quality be better? Yeah. And I've worked very hard in the last 3 years that I've been there to up our production quality. I mean, like I said, we're limited with budget. Our crowds, though, I've been there since right before the pandemic hit and on through, and we've successfully come out of it. We're getting great crowds every week on a Thursday of all things. We have a built-in crowd that comes Thursday nights to the arena. We hold about 450. We don't always max it out, but we always have solid crowds, and it's been on the rise ever since we came out of COVID. It was on the rise before COVID. COVID hit, kind of dropped off, and now it's just soaring back. I mean, our house shows have been great, so like I say, we just there is no quit for us. There's there's no fight or flight. Everybody, we're a family. I think that's another thing. A lot of a lot of promotions that run once a month, guys come in from different places and they're there, and they do the show, and they don't see each other for a while. At OVW, we see each other 3-4 times a week. I teach classes on Tuesday at our OVW Academy. We have training on Wednesday and TV review from the previous week. Thursday is the show. Friday and Saturday, we're usually on the road doing house shows. So it is a family. It's a close-knit circle. The roster is very protective about who comes in and who doesn't, because there is a rapport. Everyone trusts each other so much with each other's bodies, and everyone knows each other so well that we're very protective of our house. And it's just a different dynamic. It's different than doing like one-off shows once a month. There really is a sense of community and family at OVW.
So OVW is a sleeping giant, and it's waking up. And I think with everything that's going on, you guys are going to get more. And I think the fact that you could get a scholarship to learn how to wrestle. If I was single and trying to get into the business, I would just move to Ohio like that. And that's where
or Louisville, Kentucky.
yeah, or Louisville, Kentucky.
Or Louisville, Kentucky. That's where you can move to
sorry.
Ohio. I'm sure Ohio's lovely. I'm sure it's
I always
great.
hear Ohio Valley and always make that mistake. Thank you for correcting me. But yeah, absolutely. You would move to Kentucky. You would have to do it. But let's talk about some of the other big news that you have going on.
Sure.
We got OVW growing, and they're going to grow and get bigger and bigger. What else is AJ McKay getting his hands into?
Well, I'll be remiss if I don't at least get in there once that we do have a new Netflix show that premieres September the 13th on Netflix. They're going to release I want to say it's either 7 or 8 episodes at one time. We haven't seen any of them. We're going to watch it for the first time like everybody else, but it's not what you think it would be. It follows the lives of these young folks as they fight to become a successful superstar and get where they want to go. There's a lot of tears. There's a lot of laughs. There's some high drama, as any docuseries would be. But I encourage everybody. It's nothing like you've ever seen. We launched the trailer Monday, and within 12 hours, it already had 2 million views on Netflix's Twitter feed. So it's blowing up, and that's just on Netflix's Twitter feed alone. So big things coming. So I encourage everyone that either gave up on OVW or hasn't really followed us in a long time to give us a shot. Tune in. We're on Fight TV every Thursday night. We air live every Thursday on Fight TV at 7 p.m. Eastern. So with that said, yes, check out the show. It's going to be awesome.
Gotta binge it.
What else is going on? I'm privileged to be working with, as if I weren't doing enough already, I'm privileged to be working with Premier Streaming Network. What can I say about those guys? Josh Chernoff and I have been doing play-by-play and commentary on a couple of events together. And Josh, I guess I either fooled him or he saw my worth or something. I don't know what happened, but he invited me to come along and direct and produce some television stuff that they're doing. So they're going to be broadcasting StarCast in Chicago coming up in a couple of weeks. That's a huge event, as everyone that follows wrestling knows, and I'm privileged to be helping produce that on the TV side of things. And then the following week, I go to New Jersey, and it's the Wrestling Showcase, which is Premier's big annual event that they put on. a lot of great talent. Main event is Matt Cardona versus Colt Cabana for the premier streaming title. So it's going to be an awesome event if you get up to New Jersey for that. So yeah, just a lot of big things happening that I'm so blessed to be a part of. I never thought in a million years, as a wrestling fan of 40 plus years, that I would ever be in the situation that I'm in. And it's really a boyhood dream come true. So it's pretty awesome. I'm just riding the wave, man. So
congratulations. That's just, there's so much. You are allergic to sleep is what it sounds like.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, with the voiceover side of things, I'm up at 7 or 8 in the morning. I work until 8 or 9 at night. I work on OVW stuff because I do all the video packages for OVW. So all the video stuff. I'm also, because I'm not on camera right now, I do what they call the voice of God stuff, which is like that disembodied voice you hear on commercials and all the promos and stuff for our big pay-per-views. So I do all that stuff. So yeah, sleep when you're dead. I go to bed at like 2 in the morning, and then I just get up and rinse and repeat.
You get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so you get like an hour.
Yeah, I go to bed at 2. I'm up at like 7-ish, 7:15, and then I'm in the studio by 8. I literally have to walk 15 feet to get to, because I work from home, so I've got a home studio and everything done. So I don't have to travel. So that's great. I travel enough for the wrestling thing, so that's plenty of travel as it is. So yeah.
Meet Overdriver, the official mobile app of professional wrestling. Whether you run a promotion, performance shows, or you're an avid wrestling fan, our one-of-a-kind all-in-one app is for you. Overdriver is specifically designed to grow promotions, accelerate talent careers, and help fans stay better connected to the sport. Thanks to Overdriver, promoters can easily search for and book talent, schedule and seamlessly promote shows, pre-sell and scan show tickets at the door. Wrestling talent of all kinds can increase their industry exposure with a free searchable profile, manage their calendar availability, negotiate and track their bookings, and accept booking payments. Fans can now easily search for wrestling shows, follow their favorite wrestlers and promotions, and purchase tickets all within the app. Fans want to buy tickets but don't want to build a profile? No problem. Guest checkout allows fans to easily purchase tickets without signing up for an account. Overdriver is packed with top-notch features like secured transactions for hassle-free payments between promoters and talent, as well as fans and promotions. A concise ratings and review system where talent and promoters can leave feedback to each other after bookings and publicly display their star status to demonstrate the quality of their brand. A built-in affiliate link structure to drive higher gate attendance by authorizing talent and staff to receive a commission incentive when tickets are sold through their unique affiliate links. Social media integration for coordinated marketing across various social platforms. Tailored push notifications to keep fans engaged about events booked nearby and by their favorite wrestlers and promotions.
Oh man, that's crazy. And Bear, you wanted to ask him about what his future plans were. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. And I'm almost scared to ask, because everything you got going on now, I can imagine what your future is going. But what is your future plans? What do you see yourself being in the next 2-3 years?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. I've accomplished so much that I've wanted to do as far as my voice acting side of things. I work in network promos, so you can hear me on USA and Discovery and Animal Planet and other places like that. I mean, I do. You can hear me at Universal Studios in Orlando and Hollywood. So like I do a lot of really cool stuff. Gosh, I don't really know, just to stay healthy and enjoy the ride and like stick around for a long, long time. I mean, I'm not in the best shape right now. I'm a little fat, but so I'd like to get healthier. I'd like to get healthier and live more, but I'm just riding the wave, man. I don't know where it's going to take me. I don't have a desire to have the travel schedule that WWE has, because they travel 300 days a year. It would be awesome though to at least have a taste of that working experience and maybe spend a couple of years doing it. But yeah, I don't know what the future holds. I'm an in the moment kind of guy. If something takes me this direction, I follow it until it runs its course, and then I go another direction. So you have to be able to pivot, I think, in life, and that's the most important thing. Is as long as I'm having fun and can do what I'm doing, then I'm happy. Oh, money.
Pivoting,
Money too is a good thing.
you pivot from radio to sound production and creative
Yeah.
to now influencing the industry with OVW out of Louisville, Kentucky, which I will not get wrong again. But a company that is always impacted the industry, but is now looking to make an even bigger comeback. And let's face it, after the pandemic and before the pandemic are just two different worlds. And the OVW now is a different OVW, and one that's on the rise. And I think the exposure with the Netflix is going to be great. Now you're involved with StarCast. Now you're involved with this major streaming network and helping to produce there. I mean, you're a game changer. You're touching a little bit of everything in the business, and I have to salute you on that one.
I'm just, I never signed up to be a game changer or an influencer. I just want to do good work. I want to help people. I'm one of those people. I learned very well in early on in my path or my journey that you always reach back and you always lift a hand up to other people and pull them with you along the way. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to network and do as much as I can to help the wrestling industry, to help OVW, and I would have thrived too, obviously. But
Sure.
any of our folks that I can pull back, pull with me and pull up along the way, that's what I want to do. It's just all about, creating great experiences. I love to see kids in the crowd and watch their faces as they interact with some of these superstars, because it takes me back to when I was a kid and I relive that moment all over again. And my dad used to take me to the Garden. And he died in 2007. And so I kind of feel like, maybe that's the catalyst for me, is that I'm championing this on, I'm being a champion for him and carrying on what I used to and still do enjoy so much in my life. So, but I appreciate the kudos nevertheless. If I influence anybody or if I can contribute in any way, that's what it's all about for me. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for the kind words.
I think one of the things that I love just listening to that, it's that spirit of bringing, because for me, it's indies. It's to bring the indies to the level it should be, because everybody, just me being point blank, everybody thinks it ends and begins with WWE and AEW. And there's so much out there that is people are sleeping on or missing. And I love to hear that coming from you, because even with you not wanting to be, you are a champion for that. You are what drives this indie wrestling to the heights it will be. And again, and I myself want to thank you for that.
Oh, I appreciate that. I mean, I think that there are so many great promotions out there that are doing amazing things, that are really stepping up their game. I mean, I look at some of the indie promotions that are around that have great light shows and pyrotechnics and all this really, video screens and all that stuff. And, I've talked to Al about doing stuff like that. And, I think that's what makes OVW stand out, is that we are bare bones. We are old school. If you ever go back and watch Lance Russell and Dave Brown on any of those Memphis wrestling shows, they didn't have all that. They had an ugly ass orange curtain. Lance came out in in one of his seersucker suits, and they just they told stories and they wrestled. And that's what we do. We tell stories and we wrestle. Nobody is ever going to be WWE, no matter how much you try to up your production value with lighting, and you're never going to outdo someone like WWE. There's too much money behind them. There's too many people. It's just not going to happen. So what you need to focus on is doing the best that you can with your wrestling product, with your storytelling, and bring in the fans that way. Tell compelling stories. It's not about, pardon my French, but it's not about getting your shit in. If you're a worker, it's not about getting your shit in, because if you do a devastating move and they bounce right back up from it, well, then what's the point in that? I mean, you've buried yourself and your opponent, and
countless times I've heard that referred to as killing the business.
Yeah, you just bury yourself, So if you can tell a great story and sell with intent, and listen, I've never been a worker in my life, but I've been around it long enough to know, that you need to tell great stories to keep the fans coming back. And and we're proving it at OVW. We're telling great stories. We're leaving them with cliffhangers that make them want to come back and find out what happens next week. And that's what it's all about, So
or as I like to say, giving Jim Cornette a heart attack.
Right.
Yeah, but
Very
I
true.
mean, when it comes down to it, we met partly because I set out to find the most influential people within this business. We had a talk about Overdriver, and the reason was I wanted to find influencers, people who understand the psychology of the business. They understand the business side of the business as well as the work side of the business. And you're one of those individuals. You came up on the list very quickly, and people would refer to you as an influencer. So whether you recognize it or not, you're absolutely on the radar, my friend.
I greatly appreciate that. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's a business, and me being a self-employed entrepreneur for 33 plus years, I've seen the ups and the downs. People are going to try to take advantage of you if you allow them. So part of what I've tried to do is be a champion for the locker room and to teach them that you don't do personal endorsements for free because the company wants you to do them, or you don't. You get stuff in writing. You have a paper trail. It's a business. You have to treat it as such. It's all about branding and marketing, and and that's what I try to impart with the classes that I teach at the OVW Academy. Like I said, it's all encompassing. You can be a great wrestler, but you also have to handle your business, so to speak. You have to make sure that everything is black and white. And I think that with Overdriver, I see the potential there for this to be something really beneficial. It's going to weed out shady promoters. It's going to weed out people that say that they want to be, that their dream is to be a pro wrestler, but they are weekend workers at best. It's going to level up everyone, and it's going to make everything black and white and everything on the up and up, as far as transactions go, as far as the rating system. I mean, Bill, we've talked in depth about that, and I really think that there's something here. And if it can, you can dial it in and make it, just so, I think that it really could take off and be a game changer for the business, truly.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, AJ, especially coming from you. And I just, I'm proud to let you know that since we last talked, we've upped to about 71 promotions in 23 different states.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we're growing quickly, and we're really proud of it. But to have your endorsement, or at least the thought that this has potential, that means a lot to us, and I appreciate that. Bear, do you have any last questions before we play a game with Mr. AJ McKay and then let him escape?
No, I think we should go on and get to the game part.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I just clean fun. Just clean fun.
This is where the interview falls apart.
This is where the show gets canceled. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right.
No, so what I've done is I've taken what I see as being 5 of the top promotions in the United States, OVW being one of them, of course, WWE and AEW, and we're counting Impact Wrestling and the NWA as being 5 of the biggest in the alphabet soup that you can possibly find. And what I want you to do is choose between 1 and 5.
Oh, okay.
Just pick a number.
4.
4 would make you in charge of the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance. What is the first match that you would book?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it an easy game.
Yeah, that's of anybody, or they have to be on the roster.
I would say anybody that isn't under a non-compete contract. So, I mean, obviously you can't catch Roman Reigns right now because
Right. Well, I'll say straight up, right out of the gate, I would say EC3 in the main event for sure. You talk about a dude that has great psychology, is excellent at what he does. Love him or hate him, that's his job. It's like, if you love him, great, he's done his job. If you hate him, great, he's done his job. But EC3 for sure in the main.
Against who?
I really like Trevor Murdoch.
Okay. All right.
I really like Trevor Murdoch. I mean, I've always been a fan of Trevor's. I don't know him, but I've always liked his style and his. Yeah, he's just got a great presence and a ring awareness about him. So that's there you go. EC3 and Trevor Murdoch for
Yeah,
NWA.
for the first match. Okay. And then one other question. What is the first big change you would make in the NWA?
Um. God, you're going to get me in trouble. Oh, so
you
I love,
decide to get you in trouble.
yeah, I do. This is true. Because I know that several people that work at NWA
You can
and
play it safe.
yeah, I would like to see. I enjoy the product. I would like to see more intricate storytelling.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
because they're kind of like us in the sense that they're no frills.
Mm-hmm.
Are they using music entrances now? Because I haven't watched it in a while.
Yes, they are.
For a while, they weren't doing. They weren't even. They were just old school. Like if you tune into
Focused
TBS,
on the wrestling.
Yeah, just strictly focused on the wrestling. So it's been a minute since I've tuned in, but just more intricate storytelling. I mean the wrestling is there. It's just I just wish there was a little bit more storytelling involved, if that makes. I'm trying to. Yeah, we'll go with that.
I think that makes. I think you played it.
There.
I think you played it pretty safe. You took OVW storytelling and you brought it to NWA, and you booked two tremendous talents. I don't think you burned a bridge.
Oh, good. I hope, because I love NWA. I think that, the more the merrier. And I love the competition. I hate the fact that there's only two major players because I think that everyone elevates themselves up when you have more competition. So, and everybody's doing their own thing. You got MLW. I love watching MLW. GCW is doing great stuff. So, I mean, there's so many great promotions, and there are smaller promotions. I love to travel because I love to scout talent. And every once in a while, I'll mention somebody to Al that I thought was really cool, that I went to a small show somewhere. There's so many amazing talent out on the indie scene that they don't get the rub or the bump up, but I encourage them, they work that indie style. And if you ever want to be at the top of the game, you have to learn how to work that television style, and get away from a lot of the indie stuff. It's focusing there's psychology behind it. I'm trying to kayfabe it a little bit. I don't want to pull the curtain back too much, but
sure.
It's a different style. It's a different style of working. It's a different psychology. The times are a lot more strict. You don't have 15 minutes to go out there and get all your shit in. You have maybe 6-7 minutes at best. So it's about working smarter, not harder, as Al always says. So yeah, there you go.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, that is I think that's a pretty safe answer. I think you did very good.
Good. Yay.
Yeah. You elevated NWA without burning.
I was a little
disappointed.
I was just a little disappointed because I thought you said they should hire Bear and then they could get a little better. But hey, it's your thoughts. Who am I?
That would have been my if I would have picked number 2, that's what I would have said.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Oh man. Okay. So I've got one more quick game for you, okay?
Sure.
2 truths, 1 lie.
Oh God.
Okay. I'm gonna go first so that you can have time to think about it. Okay.
All right.
So I have been a WWE extra on 3 separate occasions. I have tased myself in a hardcore match, and I have worked with Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, depending on, at Dragon Gate USA. There are 2 truths in there. There's 1 lie. Can you guess it?
What do you want, the truths or the lie? I'll get
you got to catch the lie.
Okay, so I think the lie is that even though it would be hilarious, I think the lie is you tased yourself. I kind of believe you work with Brian and you've been an extra at WWE.
All right, let's ask Bear. Bear, this will give AJ an opportunity to think of his.
I was so hoping you would ask me.
Yeah.
The lie is you work with Brian. I believe you tased yourself.
Okay. All right.
and you work WWE.
So AJ, you'll have an opportunity to think up a lie for your 2 truths. But But throwing it down here, no, I actually never worked as a WWE extra ever. I
Wow.
never went to. Now I have a friend that works, and I drove him on several occasions, but creatively, I was in a different stage of my career. I have worked with Daniel at Dragon Gate, and I tased myself in a hardcore match. I absolutely did
I
tase
don't know.
me.
I would put that out there in the world for it to live forevermore on.
I am so
the internet,
proud
but-
of finishing the match after tasing myself that I'm okay with it. I finished the match.
Oh, 50,000 volts, I would guess so. We've actually had that happen on live television before. We had a guy tase himself by accident. Yeah, I don't know how you do that, but yeah, that's I went with that.
So in my case, it was a flashlight taser, and the spot was kind of like in a horror movie when you have the knife going like too close to the guy, and I was pushing the taser while it was popping, and my glove slipped into the arc.
Did you go down immediately?
Oh man. Oh, I finished the match. That's all I'm gonna say.
I hope there's video out there. I need to find that video. I would love to see that. That's wow.
Oh man. So what can you think of? Give me two truths, give me one lie. Let's see if we can catch it, and then we'll end up wrapping up and letting you go.
All right, so it's all right. So two truths and a lie. Okay, so oh gosh, this is going to be a tough one. Let me think on it here a minute. See, I should be thinking. I was trying to pay attention to you.
That's because I'm
Bear's not doing
charismatic.
it. But can Bear go next? I mean, I'm on the spot here. Let's see.
Bear, can you go next for AJ? Help him out.
Oh,
Help a
okay.
brother out.
Okay.
Look, we're going to sit here and stare at each other for 10 minutes now because we're not
No,
going to
we
be able
can't
to
do that. I'll
Okay.
fill the air one way or the other. I'll tell a story if I have to.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I saw no, I actually gave the Mongolian Stomper a chain to help him beat the mess out of somebody.
Okay. Mongolia Stomper in the chain.
I saw the Big Show get kicked out of the NWO twice. And that I got Jim Cornette to spit coke all over the place.
Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
on you. That's on you, Bill.
I'm gonna go with the third one. Jim Cornette is the lie because you were laughing while telling it. So either it was so very true or you gave yourself away. Let's find out.
All right. The lie was giving the Mongolian Stomper the chain. It was actually my brother who gave the Mongolian Stomper the chain.
Oh, it's a white lie.
Yeah. My father, so we live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and big wrestling fan. And my dad took us every week to see the show. And just so happened, he saw my brother, he's 10 years older than me. And he talked to him. He said, "Hey, I need you to hold this chain for me until I come get it at ringside." So what happened? The match was going on. He jumped out the ring and told my brother to give him the chain. My brother gave him the chain. He beat the crap out. I can't remember who it was, but he beat the crap out of him.
Wow.
I love the Mongolian Stomper reference. Like, how many times does he get mentioned on a podcast anymore? That's awesome.
Exactly.
That is fantastic.
Then both times here, and this is a fact, you can look it up. The Giant, Paul White, got kicked out of the NWO twice, both times in Knoxville.
No, you got to see it live both times.
Yeah, I was there.
I followed the NWO. I know he got kicked out twice. I saw that too, but I wasn't there live.
Right.
So,
and
right.
It was in Knoxville. And yes, Jim Cornette. And oh my God, I just want to I met Jim Cornette at a NWA wrestling event. And previously, when he was still booking here in Knoxville, I saw him the night before. We talked for a second. When we got to the conference, they had all the wrestlers on stage when we were walking through. They had Jim, they had not Bobby, but Dennis, then Bobby. So I talked to Jim, I talked to Dennis, Then I talked to Bobby. I was beginning to walk off. I turned around and looked at Bobby. I'm like, holy shit, you talk. Cornette was sitting there drinking the Coke, and he spit it all over the place.
Well done.
Really? That's
Well
funny.
done. That is
But
funny.
and then
Really
on
good.
top of that, I saw him 10 years later at a Jeff Jarrett event, the GWF, when they were doing arena shows. He was there. I happened to run into him. We talked about it. And I was like, man, you meet so many different people. I know you don't remember me. He's like, yeah, I do. I said, no, ain't no way in the world. He told me the story and we both started laughing. And we promised every 10 years we were going to get together so we could tell the story.
Oh,
Funny. And now he doesn't leave his house, so you're gonna have to go to his house now.
Exactly.
wow. Now that's
Oh,
3 stories that Bear told you had to come up with 2 truths and a lie in
All right,
3
so-
stories.
all right, so I've got you. Let's see if I can play along here. 2 truths and a lie. Okay. Number 1, I have Earl Hebner on my speed dial, and we have had dinner and go out for drinks. Number 2, one of my all-time favorite people and friends that I've known forever is the voice of Porky Pig. And 3, I have a, believe it or not, it's an empty bottle. Don't ask me why. I'm a weird collector. I have an empty wine bottle that was drank out of by Andre the Giant, believe it or not. So those are my 3.
All right. I'm going to say that Earl Hebner is not, probably will be at some point, but not currently in your cell phone.
Okay.
Bear?
Bear, what do you think?
I don't think it's fair because I think I'm weird like this, but I know the voice of Porky Pig. If I remember correctly, he passed away, so that's your lie.
Well, you are both wrong. I do not own a bottle of empty wine from Andre the Giant. Actually, Bob Bergen is the voice of Porky Pig and has been for probably close to 30 years now. Bob's been the voice of Porky and Tweety, and he was the voice that they used in Space Jam. So Bob's a voice actor friend of mine, so I've known him for a long time, and we're actually going on a cruise, voiceover cruise in January. So yeah, I'll be seeing him soon. And Earl Hebner is actually on my speed dial. We've had, I met Earl up at Great Lakes Championship Wrestling 2 years ago, and we went to dinner, had drinks. Earl loves his canned beer. And so, yeah, those are my 2 truths. So there you go.
So good cover up, because you chuckled while telling the Andre story. Now I figured that the voice of Porky Pig was there, and I wouldn't be surprised by Ebner, but you seemed so personal in telling the story of the Andre the Giant.
Because I'm an actor.
I bought into it. That's fantastic.
I'm an actor.
Well done. And the winner, AJ McKay.
Oh, I'll take any kind of free T-shirt you got.
So where can people
well.
find you so that they can follow you? So we'll be able to give you an opportunity to let out, but I want to make sure that they can follow
Sure.
AJ McKay.
No, I appreciate that. For all of the wrestling related stuff, I try to keep everything simple and separate because, again, branding. So for all of the wrestling stuff, it's AJ McKay OVW. You'll find me on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. It's pretty simple. AJ McKay OVW. For the voice acting side of things, it's all AJ McKay Creative. So, but if you like the wrestling stuff, follow me for the wrestling stuff, and go there. If you like the voice acting stuff, follow me separately. I try to keep all of that separate. Again, things that we teach to our students is about keep your personal life separate, your professional life. If you're going to be multidimensional, you need to compartmentalize and you need to make sure everything's separate. So there you go.
There you go. Any last minute comments there, Mr. Bear?
I just want to thank you for being our first guest. I want to thank you for just being who you are and keep elevating the business. Without you, the business would be suffering greatly. So I wanted to thank you again.
No, that's awesome. Listen, I mean, it takes all of us. We all play a part in this crazy world of wrestling. So it's anything I can do to help help lift everybody up, I'm happy to do. And I will just say, don't forget, Netflix Wrestlers premieres September 13th. Be sure to check it out. It's going to be good.
We would definitely have
check
it
that
on.
out.
I would definitely have it on our page. So You
Awesome.
get free advertisement.
I was going to
Appreciate
cancel Netflix, and then I saw the commercial. So you got me hooked. I'll be watching.
At least wait one more month. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
absolutely.
Thank you
I'm gonna
guys.
binge that in a day.
This has been a pleasure. Thank you I'm honored to be the first guest, and thank you for having me on. And truly, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you guys.
AJ McKay, Professor Bear, thank you both. And we look forward to seeing everybody next time on Overdriver Coast to Coast.
I came from the UK. I can't and won't be stopped.
Come on, there you go. Get out there. Get out there. Get out!
And I will never give you a contract.
I tell you what, if you're gonna start off, you want to start off with one of the big guys. And to prove yourself, you want to knock them out.
This is the Wrestling Society Network.